going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we are back with a reaction video on the channel. The great man Cricket Raz has got the beginning of a new, part 1, part 2 series here on the channel. So we're going to react to part 1. It's the only part that's out so far. We've got the terrible reign of the man Ramiz Raja. I mean, I am so glad that he has made a video on this. This is going to be juicy, so firstly, get your damn snacks, get your milk, get your water, subscribe if you're new, leave a like. Of course, I'll react to part 2 when it comes out. This should be fun. Let's get into it.
That's the Pakistani chairman threatening a journalist in full public view.
Yeah.
On the day he took office.
He's an interesting dude, isn't he?
Is how the reign of Ramiz Raja began.
Yeah.
A tenure of blatant lies, foolish bluster, and outright hypocrisy that ultimately damaged not just his reputation but that of Pakistani cricket itself. Today, we take a deep look into the rule of Rambo.
I'm not gonna lie, hold on, go back a second. Hold on.
Cricket itself.
Last pause of the video,
we
but
take a deep look into.
Hold on a minute. Is this from Ms. Raja? It looks like he's holding a ray gun out of, Call of Duty, and look at the mustache on him. Got me quite jealous there, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, it seems I didn't press play, never mind.
Chapter 1.
Here we go.
Imperfect. Our story begins on August 24, 2021. Ramiz Raja, also known as Rambo, was a full-blown YouTuber by this point. In the Pakistani cricketer turned YouTuber landscape, which was about to see a huge boom. He was one of the first and the biggest ones on the scene. And for the past few months, he had used this pedestal to wage a war against the PCB. From PCB is destroying Babarism's potential to even Afghanistan can defeat Pakistan now. He kept on making one controversial statement after the other, constantly grabbing headlines and getting into fight with other creators. And all of this culminated in the evening of 24th August, where he said, "It's hard for Pakistan to get out of the pool stages of the World Cup right now. So I have updated Imran Khan on things on the cricketing front." This was the thing. In Pakistan, it has become somewhat of an unwritten tradition at this point. Each new PM brings in his own PCB chairman. For all intents and purposes, Ramiz Raja seems to belong
so hold on.
Khan.
So every time there's a new, essentially board member or someone who's higher up or a new president, they have to bring in a new CEO. That I feel like that just can't be healthy.
And at the time, the government was of Imran Khan. So Ramiz Raja had spent the last few months lambasting his own side, and now he was directly talking to Imran Khan. This quickly breathed life into the rumors that PM Imran Khan was unhappy with his original appointment of Ehsan Mani. And now Ramiz Raja was going to replace him as the chairman. Later reports would emerge that Ehsan originally wanted to complete his tenure of another year, but the PM had insisted on making Ramiz Raja the vice chairman immediately, effectively making him the de facto leader. Rather than participating in this sham, Ehsan Mani decided to resign, clearing the way for Rambo's unusual appointment. Unusual, why you ask? Well, by this point, the whole cricketing world had seemed to realize a simple fact. Being a good cricketer had nothing to do with being a good manager. ECB was being run by Ian Watmore, Cricket Australia by Earl Eddings, New Zealand Cricket by Martin Snedden. Even Sourav Ganguly had experience of running the Cricket Association of Bengal for 5 years. Ramiz Raja, on the other hand, well, he had been given the post of part-time PCB chief executive back in 2005, which had ended up being completely mired in controversy. And that was it. He didn't even head a district cricket association after that. And now he was the chairman of PCB. His credentials.
Yeah, you have to wonder how the living fuck someone actually like that with that sort of credentials gets put in that sort of situation. Is it politics? Is it because he was such a good friend of Imran Khan? I think it has to be. It has to only come down to friendships at that point.
I was a cricketer. And when he was
that was middle peg.
On the day of his enthronement, we got this response.
मैं यहाँ पे criticism ना सुनूंगा और उसका जवाब भी मिलेगा आपको इंशाल्लाह और अच्छा मिलेगा.
In short, I am the law and none of you dare question me. If you do, I'll see you. This attitude of the king had been plain to see for the past week. He seemed to have unilaterally changed the T20 World Cup squad without even consulting the captain or the coaches. Coach
that was weird.
Had immediately resigned in response. Captain Babar Azam, who had tried to get in touch with the king, he had been told, focus on cricket rather than which players are getting selected.
Damn, that is rough.
Questioned about all of this. King's response. I told Babar, If you don't have 400 autograph hunters outside the academy, then the whole objective of playing cricket is failed.
Okay.
So
Now we're gonna have to talk. Okay. Look, Jesus Christ. I mean, we're just learning more as we go here. Oh my God. I actually feel bad for Babar for having to deal with this bullshit. Like, for someone who carries the weight of their country on his shoulders. And no wonder Pakistan were so shit at the T20 World Cup, really, that they got beaten by Zimbabwe. The team just wasn't even gelling together. Like, the captain didn't even know who was he allowed to pick. Like, the joke.
Get this straight. According to the king, you don't play cricket for the passion or the craft. Even for the glory of your country, you play it to get famous.
Yeah, weird. That's not why you play
fame
cricket.
was a core principle of the king. Throughout his tenure, the moment something happened, he would find himself a camera. As a matter of fact, on an average, there would be media sightings of the king 10 to 16 times a month, as compared to the 3 to 6 times of his Indian counterpart. A prime example of this would come by the end of September, when New Zealand and England cancelled their tour of Pakistan.
Yeah, true.
With a hammer in hand. September 18,
Whoa, what the
2021,
fuck?
initially, he called the cancellation an unfortunate scenario. But soon, the Rambo took the stand. In the World Cup, where he had one team on a target, now we had 2 more teams. We will avenge them on the ground. As the chairman of a cricket board, preaching revenge. No
yeah.
mention of winning the cup, just revenge. And the attacks continued. Especially when Australia was also rumored to be cancelling. How I wish today I was still the YouTuber rather than the chairman. We have been used and binned by the Western Bloc. New Zealand ran away and England followed suit.
Bro.
India stole Pakistan's strategies to become strong. Australia have changed their DNA because of money. Here is the thing.
Bro, I'm just going to say one thing. Gee whiz, this guy's a wanker. I mean, seriously, like, no one would care if you weren't the PC board chairman anymore. How I wish that I was still a YouTuber. How about just quit your PCB job and then go be a YouTuber again if you really are having conflict of interest that you can't say what you really want to say? I mean, can you blame countries for not wanting to go there at times? It's pretty obvious why. I'm not going to get into it here, but fucking hell, like, do you mentally have rocks in your head? Like,
India stole Pakistan's strategies to become strong. Australia have changed their DNA.
Australians have changed their DNA because of money, IPL contracts. I mean, to a degree, I think Australians have reined themselves in and been more respectable people. You know, obviously, back in 1995, if the IPL was around, half of the Aussies wouldn't get picked because they were always just talking shit and absolutely slandering other teams into the ground. I don't think they changed for money. They just changed to be more respectful and not have every other country fucking hate us like they used to.
Because of money, here is the thing. If
God.
a YouTuber like me spews out this nonsense, who cares? But when the head of a cricket board uses such fire and brimstone diplomacy, he alienates everybody around him. His method of management seemed to be that of a hammer in hand. With every issue he faced, a nail. And this wasn't just limited to his...
In his own coffin.
Even his friends were not spared. In a meeting attended by the 6 provincial coaches, he started publicly insulting his close friend, Basit. His crime? He jokingly called him Rambo. And as all the coaches were being told to perform or go home, he specifically targeted Shahid Aslam. Actually saying that you should not try to pay for your friendships. All of this in an open meeting with the entire world watching. And yet, the most special treatment was reserved for his main enemy. The one to blame for all that ails the PCB. BCCI.
Okay, let's see.
Money. On October 3rd, in a meeting attended by directors, lower management and the ground staff, the king would go on a tirade about...
Wait, hold on. Why is Ramiz Raja called the king? Wait, is he being called the king or something else? Because it keeps sounding like the king. And I'm like, I've never heard him called that in my life.
Money. On October 3rd, in a meeting attended by directors, lower management and the ground staff, the king would go on...
The king? Is that what he's saying? The king?
On a tirade about saving money. Even going as far as saying, turn off the lights, don't use AC, drink less tea from now on. 2 days later, he would repeat the same message, this time to a business community, going on about needing a strong financial system for the Pakistani cricket. But then came the bombshell. PCB can collapse if the Indian government wants. The logic behind it, PCB gets 50% funding from the ICC, ICC gets 90% of the funding from India. So if India stops it...
That is, wait, holy moly, hold on, what? ICC gets 90% of its budget from India. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I did not know that. And then PCB then gets 50% of its budget Oh no, the IC. So it gets. Where's Australia sit in that? I wonder. 90% is crazy though. I'm not gonna.
But here is the thing. PCC
Golly.
has contributed that much since the start of this century.
Yeah.
Never once pulling any stunt like this. Not even threatening to do so. So where did this sudden emergency come from? Well, it was coming from the same old time-tested tactic.
Yeah.
Make people afraid and sit back and count the money. Hence, he even went as far as to say, India controlled ICC and other countries have no courage to stand up against India's power. Can you imagine for a minute how other hosts must have reacted to this? Being called a coward for no reason whatsoever. But as he went on lambasting India on one side, he didn't lose sight of the true cash cow. India-Pakistan matches. In an amazing move of flip-flopping, he went from, I have been promised a blank check by an investor if Pakistan defeats India in the World Cup.
Wow.
Politics should stay away from the sport. A lot of work needs to be done to revitalize Pakistan-India cricketing ties. Just a small tangent here. That blank check, it never quite materialized in the end. Still, with Pakistan doing well in the World Cup, the king decided to move to the only topic that mattered. Me.
Yeah, it's all about him now.
I'm just gonna go over some of the statements that he put out in the next 2 months. See if you can see a pattern here.
Alright.
Saurav Ganguly extends IPL invitation to Ramiz Raja. Raja refuses. Ramiz Raja.
Hold on, what? President Ganguly extends invitation to PCB to watch IPL final. I don't think he was ever going to do that. Raja won't charge single penny from PCB. That feels like a lie, but okay.
I won't charge a single penny from the PCB. As a cricketer, I'm telling you that it is impossible to defeat this side. Ramiz Raja empowered Babar and instilled fearless cricket. I told Babar Azam the team, do not worry about the results. I plotted Rohit Sharma's dismissal. Ramiz Raja will not rest until Pakistan becomes a world-class team.
So I'm so confused. So what the hell does he actually want? There are so many conflicting statements here that are just like, does this man have bipolar? Someone check on him.
One want foreign coaches, but
it's changing every statement.
Could you see the similarity there? Well, the cherry on the top had to be when the king himself decided to take part in a reality program.
Oh no.
Where he would judge commentators for the PSL.
Why?
This is an actual program that you can find on YouTube. So all in all,
this can't be a good show.
That by December 2021, Wasim Akram was saying, Ramiz Raja is PCB. And in reply to this, the king said, there is no two ways about it. What other question do you have? Still, the high of reaching the finals could only be read for so long. Soon, reality would come knocking. Starting from the declaration that he was going to bring drop pitches to Pakistan. Now, drop pitches are used in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
The same stadiums are used for playing multiple sports. The pitches can be easily disassembled.
Wait, why would they need a drop pitch in Pakistan though? Like, I feel like drop pitches are only just going to give more flat decks in Pakistan. We only have them in Australia and New Zealand because there's other sports being played there, like AFL, rugby, fucking lacrosse, all of that other stuff. I don't... Interesting. I don't know why Pakistan would go that way.
If needed. But here is the thing. In Pakistan, where stadiums are only used for playing cricket.
Yeah.
What was the point of having drop pitches?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, according to the king, these pitches worth more than 37 crores each. They were there to replicate foreign conditions.
Bro.
So that they could create 180-degree players. This was out of the box thinking, he said. By spending the money on temporary solutions rather than actually fixing your pitches. When according to you, you don't have any money to spend. How does that make sense? For God's sakes, just 5 days after this announcement, you had your finalist of Quaid-e-Azam Trophy thrown out of their hotel rooms because nobody had bothered to book or pay for their stay.
Ain't no way! Nah, I was about to say some naughty words there, but I'm trying my best to hold back. That is so effed up. Nah, I would be, like, furious as a Pakistan cricketer. Like, you're probably not getting paid even a full salary, and then you got to deal with that extra bullshit, like... Oh, nah. On the day of a final? Oh, hell no.
Nobody had bothered to book or pay for their stay.
Hell no.
But somehow, the king, who was staying in the same hotel, he got to keep his room. And then a few days later, when you once again publicly...
Nah, that is bullshit. So he said, all right, lads, all of you guys, you got to get the fuck out. But me, I paid for my room. So see you later. I'm staying here. Like, this guy is no doubt a millionaire, multi-millionaire. The PCB board, millions of dollars. You couldn't pay a couple of $1,000s to keep the players in a fucking room at night? Pathetic. That is pathetic. And if that happened in any other country, they would be called out for it. That is ridiculous.
He humiliated your entire management staff for taking too large a salary, culminating in the National Assembly deciding to...
Wait, hold on, what? the Pakistan board is a financial crisis with a lot. Yeah. I want to know how much this man's getting paid.
Investigate them, going on to publicly disclose their salaries, making them the target of public derision.
Yeah,
And
right.
all of this to save money to spend on this. Well, finally, maybe due to this,
On more flat decks.
he
Great.
had gotten away with pushing everybody around him to get whatever he wanted. He had finally started getting pushed back. Starting from the coach, Shakleen Mushtaq refused to continue as the coach.
Yeah.
Reports said that the contract sum being offered to him was
Good on
small
him.
to the point of being disrespectful and having his name
Wait,
tarnished.
source said that former Test cricketer was offered a salary less than that of former head coach Misbah-ul-Haq. Wow. Why, though? Like, why? What's so different about him? Alright, I've just paused the video here because I actually have a little thing to explain. I had finished reacting to this video for the first time, thought everything went smooth. I then went to put it in the editor and just make sure it was all good, you know, clip off the start and end of it, and upload it. I then realized at a certain point of the video, in fact at 9:48, my voice in the recording just starts sounding like a robot. I'll play a little clip here for an example. Nah, I'm not gonna lie, I'd almost have New Zealand or South Africa in a T20 game. I would, yes, essentially that went on for the entire rest of the reaction. You couldn't hear anything I said, so I'm a little bit frustrated that the reaction just did that. I also recorded an entire BGT 2023 review of the series, and all of that was sounding like I was a robot. So I can't actually upload that. Quite upset. But we've got the last 6 minutes of this video that I will react to again. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Soon enough, came the third
Golly.
ball. He was suspending all under 13 and under 16
Oh, and
tournaments
it
because
seems that for some reason the video's on 1.5. Anyway. Okay. Let's see if I can remember what I said at the end of my reaction last time, and then try and put it back into this one. The pros and cons of trying to upload YouTube videos, hey? You can't win them all.
of rampant age cheating and corruption. So there was a clear upheaval on the home front. But rather than focusing on that, the king unveiled a grand plan on the international front. A quadrangular T20 tournament involving India, Pakistan, Australia and England.
Yeah, okay, so now that this is already coming up, I remember what I had said in my last reaction to this exact video, that I said I couldn't believe Ramiz Raja, for someone who had, you know, talked shit about BCCI, for someone who wanted nothing to do with Indian cricket and just talk smack about them. He then proposes a 4 Nations T20 series involving India. Interesting.
To replace bilateral T20 series. The king was portraying it as the next big thing in cricket. When the news came out that this plan was nearly a carbon copy of the one submitted by Sourav Ganguly back in 2019. Just that in place of Pakistan, there would be a random rotating team. And when the king was questioned about this, he simply replied that he had no idea a plan like that existed. Now how exactly does someone who knows everything about cricket have zero idea about this? Well, that seems to be a question for the ages. Still, as February would mark the start of the PSL, things would start calming down on the home front. February would see Faulkner leaving PSL midway, accusing PSL
King
of
Faulkner.
not paying him his dues. And as a protracted, immediate
Hey,
legal
I'm not
battle.
gonna lie, it's understandable. Not everyone can afford James Faulkner. He comes with a hefty price tag.
Was waged across the media landscape. Pakistani cricket had already moved on to the next big attraction. Australia was coming to tour Pakistan after a gap of 17 years.
Yeah, and what a terrible
Now,
series that
obsession
was.
PM Imran
Goodness
Khan seems to have
me.
with Australian cricket actually borders on being creepy. On becoming the PM, he had completely abolished the club cricket system that Pakistan had used for decades, forcibly converting it into the 6th provincial system, same as that of Australia. Thousands of cricketers lost their livelihood. PCB saw a loss of billions of rupees. All of that was okay because this is
Idiots.
what Australia did. So you can guess how excited Imran Khan and his proxy were that Australia was gracing their home. Hence this was being marketed as Pakistan's official return to the big leagues. A reintroduction of Pakistan to the world at large. And with the world's eyes on them, the pitch for the first test match was
Yeah, it would have been a good series. I was so damn excited for this series. And then they produced arguably the 4 shittest pitches I've ever damn seen. In fact, I was so excited for this series that it let me down so damn much. And they only got themselves to blame for it.
Was revealed. Desert. Lifeless. Barren. Desert. A desert on which a total of 1,187 runs would be hit, only 14 wickets would fall, and ICC would rate it below average.
Should have been rated as poor.
Causing damage to Pakistan's reputation. And in the backlash that followed, the king took the stage. I wish I was joking about this. I genuinely wish I was joking about this. But with his country facing a crisis, the PCB chairman stood in front of media and said, yeah, we did it intentionally. Specifically, I'm not going to do anything to put the test in Australia's lap. He even explained why he did so, saying that his main players were injured, openers inexperienced and spinners out of form. So rather than losing the match, they did this. Converted it into a farce that not only damaged the brand of Pakistan, but Test cricket as a whole. And then they actually portrayed this as a move of tactical genius. Make sure that a weak team doesn't lose. Draw gives them 4 WTC points, 3 matches gives them 12, and then they can go on to defeat England and New Zealand.
And they lost those series as well.
Right now.
Golly.
While the first pitch was a desert, and the second one was road. And actually anticipating the backlash this time, the entire commentary panel was banned from mentioning
Yeah,
the
that
pitch.
was crazy.
The king, on the other hand, he had disappeared. For the first time since taking the throne, he had absolutely nothing to say. And when he was actually cornered into saying something, he declared, I'm going to convert the PSL drafts into auctions. Then we will see who goes to play for the IPL than the PSL. Along with, I have called a foreign curator for the final test. Here is the thing. Just a few days ago, during the Pindi test match, the king had said, it takes 5 to 6 months to make a good pitch. When I took office, the season had already started. So I couldn't repair the pitch. So what exactly was a foreign curator going to do
Exactly.
in just 10 days before the next match? The answer is
He just wanted some dude to come in and say, hey, it looks all right, should be good. That's bro just wanted some advice, a little bit of pep talk.
this, as well as the IPL PSL thing, both of them were there to do one thing: distract. After all, some distraction was needed because Australia, in spite of playing on road, had managed to bundle out Pakistan for 148. Now Pakistan would have to bat for 1.5 days to save the match, which miraculously they did. And suddenly, the king was back on the screen, exulting over the draw, claiming that it would provide a huge boost for Pakistan. Now I don't know about the big boost, but this match surely gave Australia a big clue. In spite of being just 63 runs away from the target, Pakistan had shown zero inkling of actually trying to win the match. And when combined with the conditions of the pitch, the lesson was clear. Pakistan was only and only playing for the draw. So as Australia took the field in the next match, they had an extra spring in the step. While Pakistan, who had decided to go with the extra safe route, taking an extra pace bowler in place of an informed all-rounder.
Didn't that
And
go
when they
well?
clashed, the result? Pakistan lost their 5 last wickets for just 4 runs. 4 runs. And suddenly, facing this debacle, Pakistan announced they were putting those drop-in pitches on hold. They wanted to investigate the feasibility of the idea first. Check the soil, the cost, and then
I mean,
take a call.
golly, you spend all of that damn money and time and preparation, get these people to create drop-in pitches. For what? For this? To just say, nah, you know what? We actually aren't that good. In fact, maybe we don't need more flat pitches. That's a good thought.
So nobody had actually bothered to check this before. You just went and signed an MOU worth 80 crores
Idiot.
just because your chairman wanted it. And the result? Well, according to the king, drop pitches are just not feasible in Pakistan. It just costs too much. So we are going to use our own soil to develop indigenous drop-in pitches. A revolutionary concept that never again got mentioned in his tenure. Still, none of that sideshow was going to stop the humiliation on the pitch. As Australia, putting their learning to use, aggressively declared in the third inning. Pakistan needing a run rate of just 2.9 to
I
win
did
the
not
match.
bother.
And yet, true to form, Pakistan scored just 63 in the first 33 overs of the final day, finally buckling and collapsing under pressure. They went from 190 for 5 at tea with Babar Azam at crease to 235
Yeah, I mean, they literally threw away that test match.
all out. The last wickets going for just 30.
Nice bowling, Sweppo.
Team that had apparently sold themselves to India for money had overcome the pitch, the environment, and the home advantage to gobble up a hapless defensive Pakistan at home. And so we reached the halfway point of the king's rule, which was frankly the calm part of his tenure. Because right at the start of April, PM Imran Khan's government would fall. And so would the king's backing. But whereas most of the chairmen after this would given in their resignation with dignity, the king refused to abdicate, setting up a show of amazing grandstanding and mind-blowing pettiness, which we are gonna cover in the second part of the video. Till then, I hope you
Hey,
enjoyed this
shout
video.
out.
I hope you had a good day.
Hey, I hope you had a good day too, my friend Cricket Raz. Everyone, if you for some reason aren't subscribed to the great man, go support him. He has a Hindi channel, English channel, all that good shit. But hey, an amazing video. I will for sure be checking out part 2 and reacting to it. Again, I would have loved for my full original reaction to be uploaded, but of course, good old YouTube, good old microphones, laptops, cords, they all find a way sometimes to just not work and fuck me around. And I've been feeling like that a little bit recently, that like it's like YouTube's against me or something. Like I just try to record a reaction video and then halfway through the microphone just decides, yep, we're gonna make him sound like a robot from now on. It's like, okay, interesting. But anyway, great video. Shout out to the man. Original link in the description. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see everyone in the next one.